Hi, I'm Godless Engineer, and you're watching Atheist Edge.
And we need playtime, and we need.
They need a father figure, a positive father.
Yeah, it doesn't
figure.
have to be
Or-
your biological
because that
dad.
that could be.
I would
destructive.
tend to agree that it. Yes.
No, I think a stepdad.
I think too. Yeah, I think a
can
stepfather
do just as well.
can do just as well.
Yep.
Yes, I do too, because it's all about not necessarily blood. It's not necessarily like
being there
blood
for them.
relation. It's the role.
Right.
Role
The
model.
role is
That's
what
what I'm
is
saying.
important.
Yeah,
Yes.
role model.
Can I segue one more time?
I agree with you there entirely, and I don't think that JBP kind of goes on a limb and tries to say that it's only the father and only the father that can fill these roles.
Because he's
And I know, and that's why I kind of disagree with him about this whole like video game. You know, men are retreating into video games and it's unhealthy.
Well, and you also
Stuff.
kind of have to take into the fact of same-sex couples, creating a role model for them.
That's a whole dynamic. I don't
One
even
takes
understand
on a
because I
father
have
figure
never
usually.
experienced
No,
it.
what I'm
So-
saying is that having an actual male figure in your life to guide, especially young men
Yeah,
in
it's
their
important
life,
for men
that
and
doesn't
boys.
have to come from the parents.
But at least
That's
you admit that
something-
it's important for men and boys, though. I mean, to have that.
Why would that need to be admitted? Yeah,
No,
that's
I
obvious.
mean, yeah, I mean, because it just seems like that there's this underpinning underneath a lot of narratives today that that men don't have any intrinsic worth and that we're
What?
Yeah, I mean it's out there.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
You have to see that is happening though.
I'm not online like that.
Okay, it's happening.
It's happening.
That's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to play
why I
the
don't have
poor
Twitter.
me because I'm white, straight, middle-aged male. But
So your opinion doesn't matter at all.
oh, well, I'm not going to go that far.
Like Bo
but
Burnham.
Yeah.
Okay,
Straight
but-
white man. It's so a good song.
really, I don't know that song.
Oh, you hate.
Let me just throw this tangent and it'll come right back.
Anyway, I said all I want. Like I pretty much said like that's the overarching.
I want to talk
paradigm
about
that they're
lesbian
trying to
couples
push,
real
so-
quick, but first I want to talk about Taekwondo versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
What?
I know, just follow. Take. Let me take you on this ride, and then I'll bring you right back because I want to talk about lesbian couples too. All right, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I want to talk about lesbian.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you will agree, is
Is the dominant
demonstrably,
art form.
objectively better than Taekwondo, as far as saving your ass in a.
As far as
in
being
a-
realistically in a
a-
combative situation.
an unarmed violent conflict,
Yes.
it'll save your ass way better.
Realistically, yes.
Taekwondo has 9 belts, and there's multiple stripes on each belt.
Yeah.
You start out a
The
white
Dan
belt.
rank. They call it Dan rank.
Yeah, Dan means
Or
rank.
Dan,
rank.
yeah, or Dan.
Dan means rank in yeah. So there's 9 belts. Each one has different stripes. So if you're a white belt, you want to become a yellow belt. You are a white belt with a yellow stripe, and then another yellow stripe, and you're paying money, and you're taking these, and you're
Yeah.
getting this gratification.
Oh,
Hear me
of
out.
course,
You're
yeah.
getting this gratification of passing this test and getting this. It's a little achievement
You're
you unlock.
working within the rules of the game.
No, there's
to
way
try
more.
to-
There's way more achievements to unlock. That's why Taekwondo's way more popular.
And that's
even though it
physical,
sucks.
And that's
That's something to think
a
about.
physical skill that's hands on, and you get mentors and.
It'll
Because
get
you're
your ass
saying
kicked
that
in a
too.
real fight,
Because
though.
you're saying, I get what you're saying. You're
Oh, I
you're
thought you were talking about the
basically
other one. Oh.
chiming
No, no.
in on what I was saying, and you're saying that you're agreeing that if within the rules of playtime or a game, as we learn when we're children, the more short-term gratification
It'll keep you
milestones
going.
that you get
That's
to
what I'm
the
saying.
end goal, it keeps you more involved, more engaged.
That's why Taekwondo is still more popular than BJJ, even though it's not near as effective.
right, because there's not as many stops along
Brazilian
the way.
Jiu-Jitsu has no stripes. It's only 5 belts, not 9. No stripes. You only take 4 tests to become a black belt. But going from white to green or blue, whatever the next one is,
It's a lot.
it's a lot. And there's no guarantee you're ever going to get it.
Yeah.
In Taekwondo, after 3 months, if you haven't gotten your yellow belt, you're going to get your yellow belt.
Yeah.
In BJJ, if you could go 20 years and they're still be like, you're not blue belt level yet, dude. You're not going to get it.
Yeah.
There's
You're just
no
not-
gratification. If someone walked in here right now and they're a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm automatically intimidated. If someone
What
walked
about
in
all
here,
these MMA fighters that are black belts, dude? Do you think that they had
Black
they
belts
had
in
a
what?
similar?
if someone walks in here now with a 9th degree black belt in Taekwondo, I'm not near as intimidated as a blue belt in BJJ.
What?
That's someone who's been in
Wow.
martial arts since age 6, with 4 black belts myself.
Are
Instant
you a BJJ
gratification.
black belt?
No, I never took BJJ. I would trade in my
What do you
four
have?
black.
What are
I
your
would trade in
belts?
all. I would trade in all four of my black belts for a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
That's-
That's how much I think it's. And there's no gratification in that one. Oh,
Yeah.
Kempo Karate, Kopo Jutsu, Ninjutsu, and Marine Corps Martial Arts
Ninja?
program.
You're a ninja?
I am a
This dude
ninja.
is a fucking ninja.
Badass.
I am a ninja. You know what it takes to become a ninja?
What?
Take your shoes off, walk into a ninjutsu dojo. As soon as your bare feet hit the mat, you are a ninja. It just means a person
just
who
means
is.
you're indoctrinated into the
It just no. It just means a person who is studying ninjutsu. You don't have to be a black belt. You
you
pay
don't
your-
attain. Ninja isn't a
ninja.
rank then.
It's barely a title. A person that takes karate is called a what? A karateka. A person who takes no, that's true.
It sounds like erotica.
Sorry, I was.
A person who takes judo is called what? A judoka.
A judoka.
A person who takes ninjutsu is a what?
A ninja. Okay.
So me
That
saying I'm a
means you're
ninja
studying
is
it. Okay.
not a brag. Trust me.
Okay.
Alright.
But I do have a black belt in ninjutsu.
You just spoke
Do you
a
have
lot of code.
do you
to
have
me. I
the
have
black
no idea what you're talking about.
All right.
suit? And do you like throw shurikens at people? and
Shinobi
shit?
Zui. And the shuriken in ninjutsu, if they have more than 3 points, they're
Uh-huh.
fake. Because ninjas never used more than 3-pointed shuriken.
As like historically.
And we were the ones that actually invented the Oni no Jutsu, the art of the demon's fire. In pyrotechnics, you know why there's a hole in shuriken? That's where
Why?
the pyrotechnics go in. They weren't designed to stick in people. They were designed to stick in bridges. I am so off on a tangent, all right?
It's okay. It's
It,
fine.
it's distractors.
You're gonna have, you're the editor.
It's
You're
distractor.
the one that's
Oh,
gonna
we
do
could.
the work
I could
later.
do a whole episode on damn ninjutsu. Oh, anyway,
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I mean,
Lesbian couples. Would you agree that generally one takes on the male father figure role, and it
I
can
think
be
that's-
just as beneficial for the child?
I think that's a common misconception.
Oh, okay.
And it's very, very common. But if you talk to actual lesbian couples, that stereotype,
lipstick lesbians. I mean,
yeah, that stereotype of one being
Mhm.
more feminine, one being more masculine, it doesn't necessarily happen. And same thing with heterosexual couples. You know, the guy and the girl could both be just very feminine trait
Flip-flopped?
people. No, not
Oh.
even flip. Just they could be very androgynous. Like
Is that as beneficial for the child though?
I don't think it matters. I think what
What
matters,
is it about a male role model that
but
is
you
beneficial
already
then?
said that you recognize
It doesn't-
the importance of the man
Yeah.
role.
and the male role.
And if you have neither, wouldn't you say that that's kind of like
No,
detrimental?
that's not what I'm saying. The male role doesn't necessarily have to be super masculine. It's just a male. It's a male role model. And so that could be a very androgynous male role model. That could be a very feminine. It could be a gay, person. Whatever. It's about having an example of a decent person who can build a decent relationship with you
Right.
as a kid,
and show
as a male.
some masculine traits.
No,
at least.
Yeah.
no, it doesn't have to be masculine traits.
So you
Really?
don't have- you
Because-
don't see the
Seriously.
value in anything masculine.
Then how
It's
is
not that there's no value in it. I'm saying it doesn't. It's not a necessity.
how is having
It's
a
there
dad in
or
your
it's not.
life
It
better
doesn't
than having
matter.
a mom and a dad?
What?
How is having a dad in your life better than having a mom and a dad then?
I
There's
don't
got to
know.
be specific attributes that are very male that are beneficial for the child.
But you don't always get that. What I'm saying is
So
that
could
that
you reverse that? Could you have two very male and masculine
Yeah, you
role
have
models
that.
and not have any female or
Then the
feminine,
child suffers again.
feminine traits, and that be okay?
No, that
what I'm
child's still
saying what
going
I'm
to suffer.
saying is that if both men in the relationship are extremely masculine, it doesn't matter. It's about the relationship that they keep with the person, whether it's really masculine or really feminine or really androgynous. It's just about having role models that can build healthy relationships with you and with each other as an example of where your trajectory in relationships can be.
In your studies, thus far, have you touched on video games, its detrimental impact?
No.
Not at all.
I've heard a couple studies on desensitization to violence and to death, but I think it's more of a correlation. And the more that you, the more that you play a certain game that's super, super violent, or watch a video that's super violent, the less anxiety you feel from that stimulus. So they've measured that of your level of anxiety caused by really disturbing content, really violent, whatever. So your sensitization to anxiety with that stimulus goes down. But I think it's just a matter of you just getting used to that type of stimulus.
It sounds like that's a good thing.
And it doesn't. Well, no, meaning that desensitizing you to violence. It depends on how you use that desensitization. If you use it to make yourself more capable of committing violent acts, then that's not a good thing. But if you are desensitized and it helps you to deal with PTSD or something, then that's a therapy. And so it depends on how it's used and the person that is experiencing that.
I've never wanted to commit just a wanton violent act, and I've seen more than a normal human has seen as far as real violence. The only negative attribute it's given me is just violent nightmares nightly.
What I mean is,
but I've never acted on that.
Yeah, what I mean is,
and I don't think it was video games. I think it was the
the
real world, but I don't think video games did any of that to me.
Well, what I'm saying is we'll never know. Like, it's not something you can measure of how much of whatever you have experienced is attributed to one thing or another. And that's the danger of correlation studies, is you don't know all the other factors that contribute to why it correlates a certain direction. Because there's a popular phrase in psychology: correlation does not equal causation. That just because the more ice cream you consume, the more likely you are to drown. The cause of that is hot weather and being out in water. But
I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
I've heard when
a rise in ice cream sales contributes to a rise in drowning. It doesn't mean that ice cream causes drowning. It means that ice cream is a byproduct of being in hot weather and going swimming. And so that's a prime example of how causation
a negative correlation.
How causation is not suggestive with correlation.
I heard the similar one is when swimsuit sales go up in Perth, Australia, ice cream sales in Detroit, Michigan go down.
Oh, well, that's what?
When swimsuit sales in Perth, Australia go up, ice cream sales in Detroit, Michigan go down.
It's because the weather is opposite.
He's demonstrating that
a negative correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that doesn't mean that one
things
causes
can
the
look
other.
like that, but they don't cause each other.
Right.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts is that I think it was a little bit unfair, the characterization that they give that males playing video games is like a direct result of negative stimulus. I don't think playing video games necessitates a negative stimulus. I don't think that's necessary. I think that men can play video games for a variety. I think people in general can play video games for a variety of reasons. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily negative male experience that drives people or corrals men into playing video games.
Yeah, or that video games are necessarily a bad thing.
Or that they're necessarily a bad thing. Exactly. Yeah. As an avid gamer, I don't think it's really fair to say, "Oh, you're playing video games. You must have had a bad childhood with an absent father figure." And
or that it's something negative in your life that you need to correct.
Exactly.
And as a non-video game player, I would never say that to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like,
we didn't. There's two major things we didn't touch on. Maybe we'll do it in the future. But exploitation of women in video games. That's probably a whole separate.
And in porn.
Yes.
That's a whole topic.
Well, we kind of touched on that. We did kind of touch on that.
That's another whole
desensitization, but also objectification of specifically females. I think males and females in porn. I think males get it too.
Oh yeah.
I think
males are ridiculously
mischaracterized.
Mischaracterized. And just sexuality in the porn industry is so exaggerated and one-sided.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of the porn
design,
industry is it's geared toward
a male audience.
It's geared toward a male audience, but it's also I think it's influenced by its own market, and I think that men would enjoy something that is different and more geared toward both people or women. I think men would enjoy
girl on girl is a pretty
No, it,
Pretty
I never got into
That's-
popular category on
That's
Pornhub.
it's not the same thing at all. Girl on girl is not the same thing as porn geared toward women.
Yeah.
Not the same
No.
thing at all.
There's actual porn geared towards women.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Like Erica Lust is a prime example of that.
Yeah.
That and not just geared toward women, but geared. It's just kind of female positive, and what that means is that it's a much better representation of sexual experience and the kind of holistic side of that's not explored really at all in most of the porn industry, and so that's what I mean is that it's not geared toward only being appealing to women. It's not degrading to men in any way. It's just something that is a mutual, consensual, holistic experience. That's a very, very different approach to porn than what most of the industry has.
I kind of like experiencing taboo when it comes to sexuality.
Well,
It's like,
Yeah,
everyone
well,
has their
that's-
little
it's like-
thing.
Yeah, and
That
so
makes it
I
interesting
would,
to
and
me.
that's why I would never say that porn as an industry is something that's bad because
No, yeah.
it's diversity of sexual
Of
diversity,
lifestyle.
and
I mean-
that's incredible. Having content from different people. But what I think needs to happen is there needs to be more options of different styles of filming and of experiences, and so people like Erica Lust are not bashing the industry, but they are contributing to making the industry better
Right,
and
be
more
part
diverse.
of the solution, not just
Because-
just somebody who's like complaining about
Yeah,
it.
because if you go on a site, then like it's all the same and it's all very. It's a very
There's
specific
a lot of
style.
stuff you can search for, though. I mean,
What I-
there's
what
a
I-
lot
what
of
I
search
mean-
options
what I mean
on
is-
Pornhub. I mean,
But what I mean is that the there's certain things that are always there,
they're more
and
prolific.
they're
There's certain
always
things that are
the
more
same.
prolific than others. Yeah,
They're
that's for
they're
sure.
always the goal of it and the finale of certain things. They're very very similar, and
Yeah.
so
The money shot. You're
Yeah,
talking
like
about the money
content
shot.
creator driven though
That's
too. A
what-
lot
that's
of the
what I
porn
mean, is
industry
that-
now is content creator.
Yeah, how many times have you done a money shot in real life? You get your ass kicked. You know?
Yeah,
but
Just for an example.
But what I mean is that it gives a very one-sided perspective on sexuality to young men, and so it's very far removed from actual physical experiences, and that's what I mean when I say that I think they're different. They're separate.
Well, I think
Is
that we need to do
yeah.
we need to do the porn episode then.
Yeah.
At one time.
I had another
I
thing
mean,
that we didn't bring up that is tied directly, but I can't remember now. But
This is
anyway.
definitely one that because we only
She
discussed
talked about
the
it a
video
lot
games,
with
yeah.
the faithless females
Oh, okay.
last month.
That's not
Right.
what we're called. Is it? It's women of deconversion.
Oh, well, see, it started out faithless females. When I first told you that it was happening and told you to get on,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. Women of Deconversion.
It's
It's on
just-
Secular Hangouts is the
Secular
channel.
Hangouts.
Okay,
But
wait,
the-
So we
what's
might
the-
as well
wait,
plug 'em.
So what's the name? What
Yeah.
are you on again? What's the thing that you're?
The
Okay,
channel
so-
is
that you want
Secular
everybody
Hangouts,
to,
right?
So this camera right here, let everybody know what you want, what you're doing.
Yeah.
What's going on in your life?
All right, first
This is
week
like-
piece.
this is
Yeah, like
Hot Ones.
like this
Hot
camera right
Ones,
here.
yeah.
This
I
camera,
love
this
Hot
camera,
Ones.
this camera.
Tell us what you're
All
about.
right. So what's your life? What's going on in your life right now?
Okay, so it's on a channel called. Is this the channel?
The channel
Secular
is
Hangouts?
Secular Hangouts.
Secular Hangouts.
Secular Hangouts.
If you look up Women of Deconversion, then it should pop up anyway. But
It's Rachel,
under
Heather,
Secular,
Courtney.
Christine,
Yeah.
and it's just the five of us. It's
Courtney Hurd is a Godless Mom. Really? Is she on it?
What?
Courtney Hurd?
No, it's
No,
me.
this Courtney.
No, not you. You said that there was another Courtney.
No.
No, it's not another.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Courtney, Heather,
Okay.
Rachel, Mrs. Snarky, and
I know her. Yeah.
and Christine.
And they're smart as shit.
She's been on.
It's very
Space Show a
intelligent
lot.
conversation.
So it's usually like an hour to 2 hours of
So
conversation.
women of
it's really good.
it sounds like it's women of deconversion.
Yeah.
So look for it.
Yeah. Our latest episode is coming this Monday. It's a live chat, so you can listen in and you can make comments and.
She says this Monday, but it's already happened by the time you're watching this, just so you
Oh,
know.
yeah, that's
right.
So the latest episode.
So it's already up, so go look
is,
for it.
Is on moral autonomy. So that'll be really interesting. And our last episode, which was really good, that we talked a lot about this kind of stuff that we're talking about now around
Sex.
sexuality, is we called it sex ed. And so we did talk about the different all of the women on the panel. I led the panel, and we talked about our individual experience around
It was
sex
toys
education.
and orgasms.
Awesome.
I had to go get some fresh air.
Cool.
It was
So
Yeah.
we've got women deconversion. Sounds like a lot of good stuff, a lot of good content.
They made me come out and say some things. It was
So,
really fun.
yeah,
So I had a little bit of a therapy session of being able to say things boldly and
It was awesome.
directly. It was really interesting.
There we go. So we have some big things coming up with Atheist Edge. The channel is we're actually in talks.
Yeah, let's talk about the channel a little.
Let's talk about the channel.
R and Raw
'cause
protest. We got like 17,000 views per
Yeah.
video.
We
Every
had a
time.
big response to the protest.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Protest went
much.
really well.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching and
Yeah.
being willing participants in our chicanery.
We hit
on that,
2,000 subs
Consensual
yesterday.
agreement.
We've gained like
Enthusiastic, yes.
we've
Okay.
gained 300 or 400 subs just in the last week.
It's good stuff.
So I hopefully we'll keep this going.
We have a surprise big guest coming up in
Go ahead
September.
and tell them.
Well, okay. Well,
September
I don't even
29th. Yeah, you don't even know yet, do you?
oh yeah, we didn't
We
even
just
tell you.
booked him while you were talking in the last episode.
Okay, what?
So we've got Mr. A
Doctor.
gentleman, a doctor, a gentleman you guys may or may not know. Mr. Richard Carrier is going to be on the show. Yeah.
Oh my God!
So you may
He's
or may
booked.
not know his book Mything in Action. He's got.
Hold the phone.
She's the mythicist. She's gonna love this.
Oh yeah. So we have.
You're a historicist, right?
Oh,
Mything,
I'm
a
Mything
historicist.
isn't David. Mything is.
Mything in Action might be David Fitzgerald.
Is it?
No,
David? Is
that's
it?
Karen.
Is that?
It is
Richard
okay.
Mything and I.
Okay. So yeah, so we have a doctor with a number of published books on the mythicism
The
position.
top
for
5
Jesus.
mythicists on Earth.
So yeah.
Name the top 5 mythicists on Earth. There's Robert Price, Hector Avalos, Kenneth Humphreys.
David Fitzgerald.
No, I already said him.
You already
Richard
said-
Carrier.
Okay, yeah.
And I know I'm missing
No,
one.
you didn't say David. You didn't.
David
mention
Fitzgerald.
You didn't mention David.
Yeah,
So,
Hector Avalos. Yeah.
So
I can't
Richard
believe
is
this.
so
What?
Dr. Richard Carrier is one of the foremost mythicists on Jesus historicity on the planet. So
Oh.
he is going to be with us sometime in
September 29th, I think.
September 29th. So
He
Like
will just
here?
be. No, he will
We're
be.
gonna do
He will
live
be at
Google Hangout.
MythCon the week
Okay.
before that. I
That's
think he's still going to
exciting.
be up. He's going to be doing it from his hotel room, Google Hangouts.
Okay.
It'll be live September 29th that evening.
So big things, big things. We're also
I'm flipping out, man.
we're also trying to get Lou Perez of We the Internet TV fame. That is going to be coming up in September as well. So we have a lot of
Awesome.
stuff going on.
Awesome.
I think
we're-
we should have Nathaniel on.
we could.
we did one with him at the protest.
Yeah.
But we ought
So,
to sit down with him.
Nathaniel is a representative
Nathaniel
from,
Walters.
Nathaniel-
from
Walters.
American Atheist. He and I went into the service of Pastor Jeffress in his sermon on America is a Christian nation, which was really fun. So we went and listened to the sermon together, and I think that sermon is posted on YouTube, so you can have fun giggling about it with me and Nathaniel. I think we'll probably do an episode of just talking about being in the room and what that felt like with the waving of the flags and the fireworks and the streamers, and it was really, really
So let's
crazy.
finish putting a bow on this. I've said my piece on what I thought the video game thing was. You have mentioned
I
and
think we
touched
all
on
agree.
things. Did you kind of agree? Or did
Video
you,
games, violent video games, has almost nil effect.
It's a correlation, not a causation.
It's a negative correlation.
It's a negative. Yeah, it's a negative.
It's-
even.
What?
Negative
Yeah.
correlation.
There's
even.
On what?
violent
The
video
people
games.
who play violent video games are actually
Or-
less violent
Where are you
than.
getting that stat?
That's just what I think. I think violent video games do not make you a violent person.
All right. Well, there you have it. This
have
was
no
a
idea.
very good discussion. Thanks, guys, for talking with me, and this was good stuff. And thanks for watching the channel.
Atheist Edge. Walking the edge of what some consider offensive. But your feelings don't matter here, only facts. Edgy commentary on the dangers of doctrine, the foibles of faith, the bullshit of belief, the stupidity of superstition, and the idiocy of indoctrination. With razor-sharp wit, curiosity, and critical thought, we take an unblinking look at today's religions. We are Atheist Edge.